everyone, welcome to Perfect Women, India's first talking magazine with me, Dr Khooshi Gurubhai, editor and publisher. Talking about our guest today, she is an author, a model, mother of 3 kids. She is a motivational speaker, a social activist. She is an athlete. She is a sporty person. Oh my god, she is into so many activities, but that's not enough. She is also a spiritual healer.
Hi.
Oh, hi. Welcome, Sonali. How are you? Welcome to Perfect Women, India's first talking magazine. It's pleasure to have you, sweetest.
I'm extremely sorry. I think there is some kind of a connection issue today.
Right, there is. I feel so. But I hope you can hear me.
I can. And I hope I'm clear and you can see me.
Yes, you are. So yeah, now let's talk about something what you have been doing, a lot many activities, what I went through. So something about you which we aren't aware of.
I was just cooking. I didn't even get a time to really dress up.
But you're looking very pretty as usual, as I always see. You are ultimate winner. So your beauty is natural.
Thank you so much. What you don't
So
know
how was your journey so far? Since what was your age when you started working out for the beauty pageant also? Because you're a mother of 3 kids, right? And how do you balance your work and life?
So let's start with how I come from a very typical conservative family where I was kind of educated enough to be married in a good house, and there was no future in terms of having to work. So it was the upbringing concept for us and the family then was that you kind of grow up, be educated enough, and then kind of get married off, have your kids, and live happily ever after. However, I was not that. There was a lot that I wanted to do in my life, and just being married and having kids was never my part of the story. So I did go through the drill, got married, had my kids, and that's when I said, okay, you know what, this is it. Like, I've done what I was meant to do, but there is so much that I want to do for myself. And that's when I started doing, little things, one step at a time. Of course, I've been very independent in the sense that even though it was a conservative family, but it wasn't that I didn't play or I didn't go out or I didn't do, I did my bit of all of that. So I was always into sports right from the start. I wanted to pursue a sport and probably, have a career in sports, be a professional player. It's my dream to want to do something for India, play for India, have a medal. So again, that didn't happen. I'm trying to realize that dream now. So now I do play competitive sport. And I'm hoping I can achieve that here. Again, growing up, you've grown up in that era when those Mrs. World and the Mrs. Universe and all of that was happening so much. And I was always in awe of the girls looking absolutely stunning, gorgeous, when they're on stage, the way they kind of carry themselves so elegantly. And that is something that I always loved about the pageants. Now, I, of course, don't know what it takes to be one at that point in time, but I always thought that if I were on stage, maybe I'd love to answer that question differently. So for me, it was about kind of using my head to answer questions. This one again happened. I kept choosing to do a lot of different things as and when they came to me. So writing a book again just happened. Pageant just happened. Entrepreneurship just happened. I mean, I would say that, I kept thinking, okay, let's do this. And then it would just come my way.
Right. So after how many years of your marriage you decided to do something? Because earlier you were a complete at home, and then all of a sudden a woman sparked out and she decided to do something in the world, and she came out,
This
right?
is
So
after my little one was about 4 or 5 years of age. Um, so I started all of this only about 2013, possibly. So, like about 6, 7 years ago was the first time that I got. It started with me getting into healing, right? So I joined a lot of facilitating classes. I've done a whole lot of modalities of healing. So I'm also a
yeah,
healer by whatever I have learned. So
no, but
that
in when it comes to healing, I want to know, because you have been practicing shaman as a professional shaman. Now, shamanism is something that's speaking to spirits, right? So, what's that and how? Because it is very rare in India, and you are one of the professionals. So,
see,
that is something which everyone is aware of.
I am a practitioner of shamanism where I can take somebody on a shaman healing journey
Yeah.
and things like these. I have also, yes, formally learned talking to the entities and the other side. And it also, so, all of these things were naturally a part of me. The more I attended these workshops and classes and sessions, I realized that I naturally have it all inside me. And when I was going to them, they kind of just voiced the things for me, which I didn't know, oh, this is what I have. Like, I could heal people with my hands. I didn't know I had that until someone gave me a formal structure of this is how it is actually done, or it's just like that. So it's very interesting because apart from being able to do things for others, it is, in 5 years I have completely changed myself and my life, and for me that has been a greater achievement. It's like when you start changing yourself, everything around you starts changing too. And keeping in that philosophy till date, there hasn't been a day that there is an aspect of me that I have not worked upon.
Understood. So that is something that makes you a different, that gives us a separate benchmark for you, because we've been noticing a lot many activities for you in this. You are an author also. You wrote
Yes.
books. Yeah. So what inspired you to write?
um so I always emoted in written word far better than I can when I talk. So for me, writing is a nicer way of emoting, of expressing myself than speaking, or probably actions probably the least. So even as a child, I've done a lot of reading. So I'm absolutely a passionate reader as well. And so reading and writing again was something that was a part of me inherently. Uh, Again, then 5 years ago, 4 years ago, there was a time when I was actively facilitating a lot of clients doing healing, and there was a lot that was going on in everybody's lives that I started then putting down in the form of poetry, whether it was their experiences, whether it was just someone who'd asked me to write on a topic or something. Uh, and then I put all of that together and I said, okay, you know what? Let me just put it out there. Let me just publish it. So that's where the first book came around. A lot of
Love.
lessons learned of love, life, and everything in between. So it's poetry, and along with poetry, again, there is a lot of perspective of what life is all about. So that book is, a lot about human relationships within yourself, with yourself, and also another. Of course, I focused it primarily on interpersonal relationships, as in terms of more of a love and romance, and more of a very close knit relationships, because I primarily believe that they are the ones that kind of make or break you as a person, right? Because your most intimate relations, whether it's your parents, whether it's your spouse, whether it's whoever, uh, your relationships with them tend to start defining who you are. Their opinions, everything about those people sort of start making you as a person. So the book is then a lot of perspective into what you think love is, What do you think hurt is? What do you think pain is? What you're feeling at this moment, is it truly that much pain that, people are ready to commit suicide? They're ready to, jump off the bridge. There is so much that happens. So it was my way of saying, hey, you know what, you're okay. You're absolutely fine no matter what the circumstances.
Right, right. So it's more of giving happiness to others and understanding their own mindset. So when it
Yes.
comes to, as you said, you're talking about depression. So what is your say for depression?
I think it is just something that you can't see, right? It is something that you don't time that it is happening to you, because when a lot of changes are going within you, most of the times we are not aware of the reasons why they are happening to us, because we don't talk about mental health. We talk a lot about physical health. Somehow mental health has always been looked upon as a stigma, at least until now in society. And I hope this changes, with especially on the other side of the COVID, because now if you look at it, there are so many people who have undergone so much tremendous personality changes because of
Yes.
the lockdown, that the lockdown has actually showed you who you truly are. It's actually brought out people's true colors, because you realize now what kind of makes you. So depression, yes, again, is just something that's very slowly creeps in. Unfortunately, most people do not realize it. It just starts with you not wanting to join in the fun, not wanting to do things. We tend to take this a lot as mood swings. So we think, today I don't feel like going out, but that today kind of stretches into a tomorrow, and then into a month, and into years. And you kind of start shutting yourself down. And most of the times, like I said, because there is so much stigma, there is so much this thing that, all of us also tend to advise people, just come out for a drink, you will be better. Just go out for a party, you will feel good. Go meet your parents, you will be better. So the thing is that the quick fix solutions don't help that person from coming out of it, because there's definitely something that is gnawing at them from inside. And it's very essential to understand what's going on.
So what's the solution you feel for this?
I think talking, really seeking help, is very, very important. The moment you understand that there is something going on with you which is not usual for you, which it seems like it's not even natural for your own self, talk. You can begin talking to your parents. You begin with talking to your friends. Seek support. There is so much help available. There is so much anonymous help available, that if you don't want to go out there and you don't want to talk to people, you don't want to make it known that you're seeking help, and especially mental help, don't go and tell anyone. But there are a lot of people who will be there for you and support you. It's very important to be able to have at least one person in your life who you think you can share it all, have the faith and have the trust that your secret is in place, right? Because people don't want to say these things out. There is so much fear of being judged. You really have to choose whether you want to be judged over and above having to come to this point in time, whether you want to live or you want to die. So it's okay. You may find those one or two people who don't understand you, but you'll also find a lot more people who actually get you.
Absolutely. So these are some pointers which I believe everyone should follow. And when after reading your book, no wonder everybody's mindset will be changed towards a different scenario. Now, since
Thank
you're
you.
talking about women empowerment, as you believe, as I know you personally also, you've been always believed in one thing. Once a woman is empowered, she holds the capacity to empower another one.
Yes.
So in this, you arrange so many workshops for them, right?
Yes.
So how these workshops are there to support them and encourage these women?
So a lot, primarily a lot that I have spoken about in terms of women's workshop has been on body shaming. A lot of women really go through so much of judgments themselves and their own bodies. The stages of being pregnant, of being married, when your bodies change at different age, at different times in your life. at every age. And on a daily basis, there are times when you are judging the
Right.
food you're eating and the people you're hanging out with, or you're looking at others' pictures, you're comparing yourself and you're judging yourself. So again, body shaming then becomes a very vital topic for me, uh, because again, there's also been a longer journey I have gone through with it. There were times when I'd say, I don't think I'm good enough. I'm not looking, I'm feeling fat enough. But then again, all of those things that I have done to myself is only based on comparisons, right? And we all do it. Again, with me also is that I do talk. I do, will knock at the door of my friends and say, hey, you know what? This is happening to me now. We need to talk about this. And I touch wood, I do have that kind of support system. You really need the support system which will call a spade, right? That's very important, because if
Right.
you're going to shy away from the kind of friends who'll say, hey, you know what? I think you did wrong. And because someone has told you that you did wrong, you if you're going to cut off your ties with them, you are giving up a chance of making a change in your life, and you're giving up a chance of introspecting as to, hey, what could be that one thing that someone else has noticed about me that I don't know about. So again, it comes from also wanting to make the change in your life. If you do truly want to evolve as a person and evolve beyond the mundane daily routine of a day, and want to be more aware, want to be more conscious, really walk that path of, I mean, this is all spirituality is all about. It's not about a ritual. This what we are
Absolutely.
talking is spirituality. And if that's the path you want to walk, then you kind of wake up every day and be okay to unlearn everything that you have actually learned over the years.
Right. Right. So, what tips you would like to give for the women who are watching right now, and definitely our viewers, apart from this, because you, as a woman, you entered into beauty pageant, you are a part of. I believe you also been into a number of activities when it comes to sports. You are a founder of Magic Asteria, and
I
I went through that. That was very inspiring for women of today's world, of course.
So Magica
So something
Asteria
on that.
also came across as a again, it just kind of came across to me where there was a league that was happening, and someone approached me saying, would you like to participate and own a team in the league? And I said, why not? And just that why not kind of got me where I am today. So Magica Asteria was the name of my team. Today, it's of course the name of my company as well, and I'm building my brand called Go Beyond Sports. So it's all
Oh,
about
beautiful.
empowering people through sports. That journey from Magica Asteria to Go Beyond Sports has again been nothing short of just being able to empower people to step out, and especially women, because I was in the sport of throw ball when I started, and throw ball primarily, a lot of people wouldn't know that was actually introduced as a sport for women right back then when it was introduced. So this was about this chance of women, who've kind of done the things that they had to do in their lives, right? A lot of them, like who started the journey like me, who were married, had kids, and now what, right? But there was this
Right.
longing to do more. And this is also, again, this chance to step out and play, be with your friends, have fun, just like you can go to the park and walk and go to the gym. Playing really changes your mental makeup far more than a walk in a gym does. And
And
sport is a life skill. So once you have these abilities of taking the win in the loss and the highs and the lows of a game, I think you're kind of sorted for life.
understood. So talking about, since the talk's all about empowering womanhood, and you being a woman, suddenly you thought of coming up with a beauty pageant. Your journey for Bharat Icon was incredible. How did you convince your family? Because it is nothing, a plan came all of a sudden, and then you planned out to be a beauty pageant. How was your journey?
So again, I would say that had this happened 7 years ago, when I was still at home looking after the kids, and I had been home married for as many 15 years back then, uh, I'm not very sure how the family would have taken this, right? Because it's different. When you
Yes.
suddenly one day wake up and say, "Hey, you know what? I'm going to go contest." It's difficult. I do get that. There have been numerous women who have undergone this kind of thing, where one fine day they wake up and they say, "You know what? I want to start singing again. I'm going to go compete." Because the family has been so comfortable in their own space, uh, it's not easy for people to suddenly see you step out, or anybody
Right.
for that matter. But because I had already began to make these little shifts in my life and already started changing, doing things, it started with a little step, one thing at a time. By the time I reached here, I think they were kind of at this opinion that we don't know what this girl's going to do next. I am hoping that's how it was.
Right.
So
Okay, understood.
thankfully, they've been very supportive. I must say that I am very grateful. I am very thankful that even though I do come from traditional family, they have been very supportive of the choices that I have made for myself.
Understood. So how was your journey till the crown?
Uh, the journey to the crown was very interesting. Going through the training, uh, walking the ramp as a contestant. I have walked it earlier as participating in a show. Even in college, I've done fashion shows as participant in it from college. But this was different because there was so much of anxiety, there was so much of butterflies, and this kind of a walk, because you kind of know that even though people are looking at you, this time it's different. So it
Yes.
was fun. It was definitely great. There were times in moments when I said, "Okay, gosh, you're a mother of three kids. What the hell are you doing? Like, why did you have to get here?" Right? I have everything I require. Seeing myself out here. That was my question. Like, why am I stepping so much out of my comfort zone, so ready to be there where people can judge me and say, hey, okay, look at that. But this was like a challenge for me, myself, that, okay, I'm going to get out of my own zone and see what I can do.
Right. And you, since you were a participant, and then suddenly one fine day you were a judge. You were even a judge in my beauty pageants also. So how was the experience judging people then?
So it was very difficult because I come from this space of an absolute non-judgmental person, and then I'm having to sit on that table and mark people based on what is. But then I said, you know what, there is this box that is got created for something, right? And you kind of have to mark people based on how they fare within this. So that's how I had to shift my thinking, and I said, okay, now you can sit and look at everyone and see where they are coming from. And it's amazing to see people's journeys, because people really have dreams and they have aspired to be on these platforms, and I couldn't stop saying a thank you every single moment, because I say, gosh, you've been so kind to me that I have got everything so easy, right? I can't pinpoint a finger and say, I've been through any kind of trouble. Yes, difficulties we all have. I mean, I think growing up not having to be allowed to do what you wanted in your life has always been my greatest regret, because I look at it in a way that, hey, if I had started doing things right when I was a teen, when I really wanted to do so much, and as a young adult, I don't know where I could have been. And yet I'm so grateful and thankful to my life that I think I'm the best version of myself today. So I'm happy doing all that I'm doing.
Right. So now talking about parenting, since you're a mother of three kids, you don't look like a mother of three kids, but I must say you have been maintaining yourself very well. Now, how difficult or how easy it is for a parent to manage the household works course also, apart from handling the teenagers, kids also, and the work life also. So how's your experience, and how would you advise others for this?
I think for once, stop controlling your kids. Stop trying to control their lives. Stop trying to define their lives based on what you think they should become, based on what you think they should do. Because every child is an individual. Every human being is an individual. And trust me, kids are far more aware. They are far more conscious, and they are far more superior spiritually than you and me are. Because we've got spoiled, we've got touched upon by all the lies and the deceit and the hurt in the world. But kids are raw and they're very pure, and all they know is love and joy and happiness. And I think it's very vital that you let them grow like that. It's very vital that you let them be who they are. It's because I like doing something, I may want my kids to do it. I may put it across to them, lay it down on their platter and say, hey, here, would you like to? But then again, the day you treat them as an individual and give them that respect for knowing that they have a choice, I think you need to also respect. You really need to respect your kids. You need to respect the fact that they are individuals. If they say this is not what I like, yes, of course, you know, parenting always is difficult in the sense that there will be, if this was a parental platform, there would be people who would come back to me saying, hey, but you know, there are things we have to keep them safe, you have to keep them. So yes, you do. But at the same time, you also need to talk to your kids. You need to make them aware, you know, and talking doesn't mean, you know, I am not of this opinion I want to be my kid's best friend. I'm like, please go find friends of your age. I'm not your age. I don't want to be your best friend. I'm your mother, and I am going to be your mother. I should be able to have my, at least that authority as a mother that, hey, I'm your mom. You know, go find friends. Do things that you need to do with your friends. What you can do with me will never be the same. So, yes, there is no child, or there is none of us who've been completely open and transparent with our parents growing up, right? We all know this. It's a very individual thing. It's also about you, as when they are growing up, they also realize that they are so different. There is so much more inside them that's not a part of the family, or that's not a part of the system that they are in. They're also, for kids, I think it's far more stressful, because there's so much of learning happening for them in every moment, that you really need to support them so much more. And so again, for me, I mean, I would say parenting has been a cakewalk too. I mean, I'm very blessed to have the kids I have. I've told them, I said, touch wood, that, you know, you've not made it difficult for us to be locked up at home in the last 3 months, because you all have been understanding. So again, understanding your child's mental health is very important. When they do come, when you see even the slightest change in their behavior or something, talk. It's very, communication is the key. And communication doesn't mean you want them to tell your secrets. I mean, what would be there a secret at 5? Like, they possibly just had a packet of chips when you were not there. It's okay. You need to kind of give up a few things to get the larger picture in.
Understood. So it's all about happiness and hope and happiness. It goes around with Sonali.
I must tell you this, yes, and I must say that, you know, with happiness and gratitude is also Happitude, the title of my next book, which is
I was on the point.
Yes.
Soon to be releasing this year
soon.
End.
Yes.
Yes. So what is Happitude all about?
So Happitude, and so Happitude is not so, you know, Khooshi, Happitude is more of a workbook. It's a journal. It comes from what I have been doing, and it comes from where I have understood and learned happiness and gratitude, and you know, how I have made it a part of my life. So it's a workbook journal which people can have with themselves, keep it handy, and hopefully change their lives as well.
So, talking about everything, since you are a perfect woman, who is your perfect woman in your life?
Wow. Um, I wouldn't say I'm perfect. B, I wouldn't say there is anybody who's perfect in this world. So, um, because again, perfection comes from this space where you're trying to put people into. But then, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I will never be able to pinpoint someone, because I get influenced and inspired and in awe of so many people that for me it's very difficult. If you even ask me who's your favorite actor or what's even your favorite color, I probably would never be able to say it because I'm just somebody who likes everything.
Wow. Now that makes it wow for you. So in this entire journey, like whatever comes up, okay, suppose since you are a mentor for many, so what would be your suggestion and your tips for others who wish to get into fashion industry or beauty pageant industry, our participants who are joining us? So what would be your guideline for them?
I think whether it is beauty or whether it is fashion, whether it is even technology, whatever that you're getting into, it's very vital and very important for you to sit down and have a talk with yourself and actually ask yourself why you're doing this. What are you going to get out of it? It's very important for you to know. Very, very important for you to know why you're doing it, what you're going to get out of it, who are you doing it for? Because if you're not doing it for yourself, you should just drop it right there.
Right. Okay.
So lots of these things, I would just say yes. Be your own best friend first. Talk to yourself, find out what you want to do and why you want to do certain things. So my tip, yes, would be that rejection is only a rejection of that thing. Rejection is not a rejection of you. So if you do not get selected, you do not get a role, you do not get a part, it just means that you probably didn't fit into that role or that part or that moment or that pageant. It does not mean that you as a person has got rejected. So you have to understand that when somebody says no to you, it's not a no to you as a person, it's no to that thing that you are talking about. So then don't take this rejection so difficult on yourself, because every day is a new day. Every day there is a new opportunity, and every moment there is something that can happen. You only have to trust and believe in your journey. And again, that's where it's very vital for you to understand why you are on this path. Why do you want to be a beauty pageant? Why do you want to be a designer? Why? If you have that much passion, any kind of a rejection is not going to make you reject yourself.
So I was right. You steal hearts with your inspirational words.
I don't know. I hope.
Yeah, we're talking about lockdown. How you've been for 3 months sitting at home because you are breathlessly working around now. In these 3 days, 3 months was completely a lockdown. So how you've been doing it and what activities you are in right now?
I have been doing a lot of online with Go Beyond Sports. Of course, I've also been on the other side hosting Go Beyond Sports talk shows, which I have been doing for the last 1 year. Of course, then I've had shots. We've shot the videos with the players and all, and now we are doing online sessions. I've also had online challenges. I've also had an online event. So there's a lot that was happening. I'm totally loving this. I think I also realize how much I love working from home. So for me, this is great. I am absolutely happy being home. Very, very happy to be spending time with the kids. A lot, again, like I said, so much that I've discovered about me. I have been doing a lot of cooking, and yeah, I'm totally enjoying this. I'm actually happy.
So where will we see you post lockdown now? Because you must have
Whenever you say.
Oh wow, definitely we will
your
catch up.
coffee is still due with me.
Yes, of course, we'll be just joining soon after the lockdown as it is, because we are
Yes.
into the preparation for the pageants. Due to the lockdown, everything is postponed towards the year end now. So let's
And
catch up for this. And you are one of the mentors for my beauty pageants. You have to join me very soon.
thank you,
And
Khooshi.
it
Thank you
will
so
be,
much.
it's a pleasure for us to have you, and your inspiration words will definitely are going to be golden words for us and for my readers and for my viewers also.
Thank you.
These stories will be published overall, and I'm really grateful. I'm really thankful to you to be
Thank
a
you.
part of it.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
I'm going to do this, right? Because that's what we all
Yes,
do.
of course, and you have to join me back again post
I will.
lockdown for the live.
I
Yeah,
will.
we will be having other talks. Will be in majorly concentration will be towards the sports and women's. So we are
Definitely.
going to be joining very soon for this,
Thank you
because you
so
are a
much.
sporty person and will always be a sporty person for me.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, dear.
Thank
Nice
you.
time. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye-bye. You
Bye.
too. Bye-bye.